window into an extraordinary world lived by many, yet celebrated by few. We showcase how to rally for persons with disabilities, taking you on a journey with valuable life lessons and intriguing personalities, leaving you ready for action. Activated takes us on a journey of taking lessons from persons with disabilities and how we must do things differently to unleash the contribution persons with disabilities can and must make to building a disability-inclusive Mzansi. In today's program, we look at the C-suite, meeting individuals with disabilities at corporate executive level. We visit Dr. Smit, who developed a framework for ICT companies to promote inclusion of consumers with disabilities. Our studio guest is Saul Molobi. We uncover where he draws inspiration and his sentiment about the transformation agenda and progress in South Africa. In closing, we chat to Luthando Kekana about the power behind a senior position in changing perspectives and perceptions about the value persons with disabilities bring to the table. Hello and welcome to Activated with me, Helga Barkhuizen. In today's program, we unpack the C-suite. Daar is kommerwekkende transformasie, diversiteit en insluitingsstatistieke met betrekking tot gestremdhede in die werkplek. Ons vind dit dus net gepas om vandag die leiers van die industrie te vier, bestuurders wat senior leiersposte in 'n organisasie beklee. Individue wat deur die geleedere of die korporatiewe leer gestyg het, ten spyte van die vele struikelblokke en die weerstand wat hulle langs die pad teekom. Now, let's get activated. Our first story takes us to Cape Town, where we meet Dr. Smit, who struggled to find employment with her disability. With a master's degree and ample work experience to boot, she repeatedly faced closed doors and regrets until she finally re-entered the job market on a demotion as a call center agent. Imagine this, spending most of your first 15 years in hospital after being diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis that affects all your joints. This is Karen's life, age 3 and up. With more than 23 years' experience in a leading global telecommunications company, she has become an industry expert in accessibility technology for disabled persons and the elderly, locally and internationally.
Soms in 'n mens se lewe dan is jy genoodsaak om 'n stapie agtertoe te gaan, maar ek het gesien dat indien jy dit doen met passie en met die regte gesindheid, dan sit dit jou op 'n pad wat vir jou baie kan help vorentoe in jou lewe. So ek weet selfs toe ek my grade behaal het en ek het gaan werk soek, permanente poste by maatskappye, was dit nog steeds baie moeilik vir my om werk te kry. Dis asof werkgewers net nie verby die persoon se gestremdheid kan kyk nie. Dis asof hulle nie kan besef of kan dink dat die persoon wat voor hulle sit is bekwam, dat jy kan iets doen. Hoe het jy dan deur die skool gekom? Moet jy jou grade behaal? En 'n een ding van fisiese gestremdheid, soos in my geval, ek sê altyd dis baie misleidend. Want mense kyk gewoonlik na jou uiterlike en binne 'n sekonde maak hulle 'n besluit oor jou. Jy kan nie, hulle sit jou in daai boks wat sê, jy kan nie, jy mag nie. En dadelik limit hulle jou. So sonder om nog eers uit te vind, kan jy regtig die werk doen? Vra my dan as jy onseker is. Moenie assume as jy na my kyk en my hande sien en assume ek kan nie byvoorbeeld nie tik nie of 'n rekenaar gebruik nie of vinnig my werk doen nie. En dit is so misleidend. So ek sê altyd vir werkgewers, jy kan dink wat jy wil, want ek dink ook wat ek wil as ek mense sien wat anders te lyk, maar check met hulle. Vind uit by daai persoon, wat is hulle bekwaamheid, wat is hulle abilities. So ek sê altyd, dit is amper geval van serendipity, hoe ek gekom het in my werk, en ek is nou al amper 25 jaar, nog steeds in dieselfde maatskappy. Ek sal vir bestuurslede sê om te besef dat mense met gestremdhede is ook mense, en ek wil hulle graag aanmoedig om mense met gestremdhede in te sluit in hulle strategieë en om dit visible te maak in die maatskappy. En dan wil ek elke leier uitdaag om moeite te maak om mense met gestremdhede te leer ken. Hulle is net so 'n mens soos enige ander mens. Party van hulle disabilities is invisible, jy kan dit nie sien nie. Party is baie visible, soos in my geval byvoorbeeld, of mense in rolstoele, maar op die einde van die dag is mense met gestremdhede is deel van die samelewing. Hulle bly nie iewes op 'n eiland nie. Hulle is nie spesiaal of uniek nie. Ek glo dit. Ek glo elke mens is uniek op hierdie aarde, with or without a disability. En elke persoon het baie om te bied. En die feit dat ek 'n gestremdheid het, maak my nie minder. It doesn't make me lesser of a person than another person. So ek wil bestuurslede aanmoedig om te besef dat mense met gestremdhede het baie om te bied. Ons baie meer as mense sonder gestremdhede. Omdat jy is in 'n posisie waar jy jou amper elke dag moet bewys. Al is jy hoe goed, moet jy dubbel so hard werk as ander mense om raak gesien te word. So deel van wat ek doen as 'n aktivis of 'n advokaat is om te sê, dink ook aan mense met gestremdhede as werknemers en ook consumers. So as ek sê, as 'n maatskappy of 'n organisasie, I'm inclusive. As ek sê, we've got a strategy of including all people. En baie organisasies sê dit, ons sorg vir alle mense, ons strategie sluit almal in. Maar as jy fyner kyk, sluit dit regtig persone met gestremdhede in. Maar dat jy ook sê, you got to co-create an accessible workplace. Mense met gestremdhede moet aktief deelneem aan dit wat hulle wil hê. So dis belangrik dat hulle dan ook kom met die oplossing en dat die maatskappy dan luister na hulle voorstelle en hulle recommendations en dit dan implementeer. Wanneer 'n maatskappy dan vir my insluit as 'n employee with a disability, dan voel ek behoort werklik aan die maatskappy. En dit is meer as diversity and inclusion. Inclusion beteken I feel that I belong in the company. Daar word nie goed vir my net gedoen omdat wetgewing dit sê nie, maar dit is vir my lekker om elke dag na my werk te kom. Ek kan dit doen want ek word die tools en die resources gegee om dit te doen.
Dr. Karen's power lies in the fact that she, despite being overqualified for a position, used the opportunity to get her foot in the door. She is currently the Accessibility Lead Executive at one of South Africa's prominent mobile phone providers. She developed a framework for ICT companies to promote inclusion of consumers with disabilities and is a global industry expert in promoting accessibility in ICT digital inclusion. Na die advertentiebreek gesels ons met Saul Molobi, groepvoorsitter en hoofuitvoerende beampte, voormalige konsulaat van Milaan, skrywer en rolprentmaker. Ons eer en vier sy prestasies. We'll be right back. Saul Molobi's message is simple. Never lose hope in your struggles and sometimes adopt a light-hearted approach to dealing with the difficulties you're encountering. Laughter is indeed the best medicine, as the cliche goes. Saul talks about his life after his injury that left him semi-paralyzed in his book Sounds and Fury, The Chronicles of Healing. The book also aims to mainstream issues affecting people with disabilities. For him, it's about removing the "ach, shame" mentality when the non-disabled people look at people with disabilities. Our disability shouldn't define us, our personality should. Welcome, Saul. Mr. Molobi, for our viewers at home, tell them, who are you and what do you do?
Professionally, I'm a brand architect. I have qualifications in marketing and I've I've worked for over 30 years in the marketing and communications field.
Okay.
And now I also run my own marketing agency that is looking at how do we brand reposition or re-engineer Africa's brand to position it in such a way that people perceive it positively. But beyond that, I also see myself as an activist for inclusion. So I look at leadership issues as they pertain to how do we include as many sectors of our society into our institutions.
I believe you went through a personal ordeal. What characteristics, values, and strengths can you share with us helped you through this ordeal to get you back into the C-suite and back up to your feet and back into making a difference in people's lives?
Basically, it's determination to live. Every morning, you have to tell yourself that, thanks God, I managed to wake up. And I'm going to fight to make sure that I live throughout the day until I come back to this bed.
For sure, and we say amen.
Yes, so you have to be determined and to have that passion that you are going to live. Yes, it's extremely difficult, especially in my case. I suddenly collapsed. And I became fully paralyzed for 7 months. Now,
That's scary.
You can imagine having lived a very colorful life to suddenly finding yourself stuck to your deathbed. But my experience also from observing others, is that the key to survival lies in you accepting your condition. And when you accept your condition, it also means you are giving up on your pride. Because pride is what kills people. Because once you are fully paralyzed, you are like a baby. They bathe you, they do everything for you. Usually people in the townships and villages will say, he's a cabbage. And I always say to people, nice. Not necessarily, because I know my mother cooks cabbage very, very well. So it's an insult to a cabbage. I think you are worse than a cabbage if you are fully
I do
paralyzed.
like cabbages, though, just saying. I like cabbage.
Especially cooked by my mother.
Right.
It's
That's
excellent.
great. Someone with your background and the PhD thesis that you wrote and the books that you wrote, how can we help them get more people with disabilities in companies and help people understand what inclusivity is all about? How can we make that work?
The first is what you are doing through this program.
Oh, thank you.
Advocacy, you know. In fact, I didn't mention this, that for the 2 years that I spent at home, I hosted people with disabilities who have made it. And they will share with us the challenges they had to overcome. And in fact, the most interesting one came from Babsi Mlangeni, one of our veteran musicians, who said that in the early 60s, he went to this record company. They introduced him to a producer. And he said to him, I want to record music. And he said to him, but you are blind. And then he responded by saying, yes, because I don't sing with my eyes, I sing with my mouth. You know, I don't go like, you know, I sing.
That's right. You feel
needless
music.
to say that looking at his achievements, that record producer should be regretting why he rejected him, because he ended up being the star he has become. The other stream is us people with disabilities excelling in each and everything that we do, because then we'll be able to change people's perceptions.
100%.
In 2 years, I managed to publish 2 books. This
Successfully.
Yeah, this.
Your other book here is about
This one is
Deconstructing Brand
Deconstructing Brand Africa, which we are launching in the next 2 days. And then I resigned from the company I worked for, which was a government agency, to go full-time into business. And in these 2 years, I was nominated twice by the World CEO Rankings Board, which is headquartered in the US, as a CEO, the World CEO of the Year.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Saul, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an absolute honor. All the best for your future. We'd love to read your books, tell all the viewers about it. I hope you have a fantastic day.
Thank you for having me, and good luck to your viewers too.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Saul.
Okay.
Ons 4 persone met gestremthede in die topbestuur van hul organisasies vir die werk wat hulle doen, sowel as die impak wat hulle daagliks maak terwyl hulle ywerig dien en lei. Diversity is having a seat at the table, inclusion is having a voice, and belonging is having that voice be heard. Liz Foslin, best-selling author. After the break, we visit Luthando Kekana and speak to her about having the power of a senior position in communications, in changing perspectives and perceptions about the value persons with disabilities bring to the table. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Luthando Kekana is a senior communications officer with AXA. She has a passion for the profession and people in general. Solving the perception conundrum is what keeps her going, and finding new ways to communicate as people evolve with technology fascinates her greatly. In her free time, she runs projects that uplift people with disabilities through the affiliation to the Association for the Physically Disabled Greater Johannesburg, as a director of the board and a trustee for the South African Disability Development Trust. She's also a fellow at the Young African Leadership Initiative and Commonwealth Disabled People's Forum for Disability Equality, which allows her to dip into a group of individuals in the African continent to share and exchange ideas.
Why can't I inclusion universal access? Ga ke bolela ka universal access ke ra gore batho ka moka ba kgona go berekisha dilo tse rena le tsona mo South Africa. Dilo tse ke access to public and private spaces, right? Remove re tlose di barrier ka moka tse rena le tsona. Government is doing wonderful projects, but for me, including corporate South Africa, it's the right thing that has actually been done the wrong way. If you're going to put a ramp, but it's too steep, it's the right thing that's been done the wrong way. Or are we just ticking boxes? But to analyze disabilities, we have to look at that both ways. And disabilities in the workplace. Does that not then give us the tone or people with disabilities are discriminated against? So for now, we need to relook at the structure, the policies, and who is sitting at the decision-making table. Because if we can then change that, we will be able to change a lot of other things. Otherwise, the entrepreneurs with disability, the professionals with disability, the way structure is. I myself am grateful for this opportunity as a Black woman to have a voice, to amplify and represent people with disabilities where other people would have not. So I think we need to have more people with disabilities on decision-making structures, on boards, as chairpersons of boards and in management. And until organizations can do that, then we're not going to move forward. Ranchi ki kry inspiration ya ka go Marianne Williamson. Rancha bolela ka as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people the permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Eo in tusha gantši ga ke na le batho ba senang disabilities, and they might just have a bit of stereotype. Gore nna ga ke le nna ke le comfortable ka gare ga skin sa ka. Automatically ke dia gore bona ba be comfortable ka gare ga skin sa bona, which works vice versa. Le bona ge ba le comfortable in their own skin, ba te tshepa gore bona ke bona bo mang. Go dia gore le nna ke bane comfortable, le nna ke kgone go te tshepa, and then re kgone go relate ga botse as batho. And I think more about in South Africa, I think Ubuntu goes a long way, and it's who we are initially, and that's why we thrive as a country in celebrating our diversity and unity in our diversity. So go ka se kgonagala re tshwane ka moka e ka se diagale. Banke ba telle banke ba kopana ba bana le mmele ba nkwa ba sasane. So ga re ka thoma gore re amogelane ka mogore leng ka gona, ra se impose di beliefs tsa rena go batho ba bangwe. Instead ra focus on each other's uniqueness and celebrate them. Re tlo ya gole as batho.
Die Suid-Afrikaanse openbare en privaat sektore se diversiteit en transformasieagenda het agterweë gebly. En insluiting het die laagste statistieke in die totale arbeidsmarkplek getoon. Dit is tyd vir 'n verandering. To quote Liz Foslin, best-selling author, "Diversity is having a seat at the table, inclusion is having a voice, and belonging is having that voice be heard." Bly veilig, tot volgende week, selfde plek, selfde tyd, only on SABC2, where you belong. Join, like and share Activated on Facebook.